The embryology of the formation of the great vessels, including the aorta, pulmonary arteries, and major branches like the brachiocephalic artery, common carotid arteries, and subclavian arteries, is a complex process. It involves the development and remodeling of the pharyngeal arch arteries and the conotruncal region of the heart, transforming these early structures into the mature arterial system. In this video, we'll explore the development of the great vessels during embryonic development, focusing on the transformation of the pharyngeal arch arteries into the mature arterial system. During the 4th and 5th weeks of gestation, the embryo develops a series of pharyngeal arches, paired structures that contribute to various tissues in the head and neck. Each arch contains its own artery, known as a pharyngeal arch artery. Initially, 6 pairs of pharyngeal arch arteries develop, although not all persist to form the great vessels. These arteries arise from the aortic sac and connect to the dorsal aortae, running along the length of the embryo. The first and second pharyngeal arch arteries largely regress, with remnants contributing to small arteries like the maxillary artery and the stapedial artery. The third pharyngeal arch artery persists, forming the common carotid arteries and the proximal portions of the internal carotid arteries. The fourth arch artery has different fates on the right and left sides. On the right, it forms part of the right subclavian artery, and on the left, it contributes to the aortic arch. The sixth arch artery forms the pulmonary arteries and, on the left side, the ductus arteriosus, which connects the pulmonary trunk to the aorta in fetal life. The truncus arteriosus, a common outflow tract for both ventricles, is divided by the aorticopulmonary septum into the ascending aorta and the pulmonary trunk. The aorta carries blood from the left ventricle to the systemic circulation, while the pulmonary trunk carries blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. The aortic arch is formed from the left fourth pharyngeal arch artery, with contributions from the aortic sac and the left dorsal aorta. The right subclavian artery forms from the right fourth arch artery, right dorsal aorta, and the seventh intersegmental artery. The pulmonary arteries arise from the sixth arch arteries. The ductus arteriosus connects the pulmonary trunk to the descending aorta in fetal life, allowing blood to bypass the lungs. After birth, it closes to form the ligamentum arteriosum. Proper development of the great vessels is critical for establishing the systemic and pulmonary circulations. Abnormalities in this process can lead to congenital heart defects, such as coarctation of the aorta or transposition of the great arteries. In summary, the formation of the great vessels is a complex and orchestrated process involving the pharyngeal arch arteries and the truncus arteriosus. Through growth, fusion, and regression, these structures give rise to the aorta, pulmonary arteries, and their major branches, ensuring proper blood flow in both systemic and pulmonary circulations. Thank you for watching.